I go on. To the members of the press, gentlemen of the press, and fellow stakeholders. During the annual general meeting held on the 31st July at Cedar Hotel 2025, the Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria, NUGASA, deliberated on the plans of Dangote petroleum refinery to commence the distribution of their own petroleum products using a fleet of 4,000 trucks. NUGASA acknowledges and proud of the refinery role in ensuring Nigerians' petroleum industry. However, our members have raised concern regarding the effect of direct supply to end users, such as telecom communications sites, hotels, and construction companies, etc. As a responsible employers, we are particularly worried about the loss of supply opportunities and job losses that could jeopardize the livelihood of those involved across the distribution value chain. In light of this concern, we formally request a meeting with Dangote Petroleum Refinery to address the issue. Our aims to seek solutions that will balance the interests of all stakeholders in the industry, in the sector, Regrettable, we have yet to receive a response from Dangote Refinery. We strongly believe that such a meeting is vital, not only for our members, but also for the interests of energy security. As a suppliers of petroleum products, we remain committed to protect our businesses while serving the nation's interests. Given the urgency of this matter, we find ourselves with no other choice but to consider withdrawing our services nationwide. In solidarity with NUPENG and other stakeholders, if this situation remains unsolved. It is hereby directed that all oil and gas suppliers to all construction companies, industries, hotels, and telecommunication sites nationwide should be withdrawn their service with effect from tomorrow, 9 September 2025, pending when the matter is resolved. I repeat, withdraw their services from tomorrow. We respectfully appeal to the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to intervene and facilitate the dialogue between downstream sector distribution stakeholders and Dangote Refinery so that we will move forward to avoid further destruction of petroleum products to Nigerians. We are not happy. Dangote is one of our proud refineries. Today is our last hope. I keep saying it is our last hope. We don't want what happened to an NNPC to happen to Dangote Refinery. We are not against Dangote Refinery. We love that investment and we will support him. But the problem we have is that we don't want a situation where we go back to square one. You will agree with me that before now the Port Harcourt Refinery is working well. Kaduna Refinery is working well. Warri Refinery is working well. So what happened? Until they leave the issue of refining product, now going to distribution, building filling stations, owning filling stations, branding filling stations. See what happened to us. So if anything happened to Dangote Refinery, we will be in big trouble. And that is why we said, please, it's better we tell him the truth now. And that's why we ask him to come so that we hold what they call stakeholders meeting so that we can tell him the implication of going into this direct supply. It will disrupt him. It will not allow him to concentrate on the on that big refinery. Imagine if something happened to the refinery and what will happen to all Nigerians. So we are not against Dangote Refinery. That's our stand. But we don't want anything to happen to that refinery, and that is our major problem. So my colleague here, you know, what happened to one happened to all of us. Injury to one, injury to all. So, Mr. President, you'll agree with me that if this continues, you won't see fuel in your filling stations. Just like we will not supply petroleum product to industry, you know what will happen. So, the NATO president also, you know what will happen to them? Their trucks, the whole agent company will be in a mess. The filling station too, we will lose all our business. We don't want to sack one single staff, one single of our workers. We don't want to sack anyone. And that's why we are crying out for the government to come into this matter, resolve this matter amicably. Thank you all.
Thank you. This matter, does AI disallow
Now, to start their own refinery. 80%. Go and find out from the MoMA, DAPMA. They will tell you they've started doing the business. So it's not as if they are folding their hand. You know, what happened to an NNPC teach everybody a lesson.
Yes.
Okay? So the DAPMA, MoMA, all of them now have joined forces to make sure they get their own refinery. And once this happens, these things will go. They're working hard. They are not folding their hands. So it's not as if we are leaving everything in the hands of Dangote refinery. And at the same time, we're also praying for an NNPC to come up. If they come up, I don't think, if the business was sweeter than this. Yes, I think that.
asking the question. So basically, you are asking me a question, and I'm here with you in the same room, correct? Yeah. So I'm going to give an answer. If I'm not in the room with you, can I give an answer? I'm asking you back. Can I give you an answer?
You can. I can call you.
Oh, no. You will not be able to see my body language. You won't know whether what I'm saying is correct or not. So, we have to be very factual. Now, the scenario is simple. We want Dangote to be successful, but we want to also be successful. Anything that needs to be done should be done well. Now, just to jog up your memory, as of today, we have over 30,000 petroleum tankers doing business in this country. And even at that, we're having challenges with petroleum products that you load from Lagos, and then by the time it gets to Port Harcourt, you already have either lost, a whole tanker lost because it fell down, or there is some mishap. So you can see the danger that is there. So 4,000 trucks in the middle of that is really nothing. So that is not what we are worried about. We are worried about the fact that when that truck starts coming to my retail outlets to supply, most of the members who form the stakeholder have already lost their job because that's a paid for service. And now you say you want to give it free. So the question Petron will be asking is, how long are you going to do it? So why do we start something that we know we are not going to be able to sustain?
Sustainability.
All right? So that is a critical question. But other than that, why does a refiner want to have the database and the statistics of my supply system? Because basically that's what happens. So whenever, for instance, there are some partners he has today that Petron members are ceding their station for branding. But because of this issue now, that branding exercise is also, stopped. Because we do not understand why you want us to brand our stations and then you don't want us to be able to handle our businesses with all the change, the value chain in the business. So that is the reason why that's why we are going to support it, because our workers are members of NUPENG. And the moment the strike is not abated, which we believe that it will be, because we have called for the government's intervention and government has responded very swiftly and positively. So we believe that with this ongoing intervention and discussion, in no distant time, we'll be able to resolve this. We still have, this is just 11 o'clock. So we still have so much time to be able to discuss and resolve that.
Let me also help you. Petro and NATO will join us in any moment from now. All the filling stations in Nigeria. Don't forget, people like us, we have depot. Let me use myself as an example. I have a depot. I have filling stations. I have trucks. I have, all the areas I'm inside. Now let me give you an example. I now give all my business to Dangote and say, okay, Dangote, be the only one to supply me. And something happened. Maybe the refinery break down or one thing or the other. And because I'm relaxed with him alone, and something happened to that refinery, what happened to my business? It's finished. So that is why the monopoly is not good. What is important, let everybody do the business so that there will be alternative. If something happened to Dangote today, we'll know where to fall back. Just like what happened to all our refineries, the NNPC refinery. What happened to us? We run into trouble. We run into trouble because there's no way. If we say import product, I remember one time they said wave at the sea will not allow vessel to come in.
Thunderstorm.
For like 2 weeks, I was no supply. Scarcity. People were suffering. Nobody's happy. I don't want to sell today, and I will not sell tomorrow. It doesn't make sense. So mine is concentrate on that refinery. If you are doing the refinery work, those trucks, those distribution will distract you. And that's exactly what happened to an NNPC. And that's why we are crying that what happened to an NNPC should not happen to Dangote. It's as if anybody is against his business. We welcome him.
Support him.
Okay, we support him. So for distribution, no problem. We can do anything. But we don't want monopoly where it will now hit Nigeria at the end of the day. Just like he said, because you are not in the room, you will not understand what is going on. We, the insiders, we know he can't do it alone. He must carry everybody along.
So, Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association has come quite early in the day to sound a note of concern that Dangote Refinery is a very, very welcome development for us in Nigeria and in Africa. It's our pride. While he is our pride, and the industry, the refinery is also a massive pride and a chip on our shoulders, we also want the industry to be stable and all-inclusive. We've had retail outlets that have been established way back in the 60s, and we all know that these investments have taken care of many of us through school, ensure that our healthcare is taken care of, families. In a situation where what we are celebrating as a major breakthrough for Africa and Nigeria especially, and also for the downstream sector, we will expect that some level of collaborative measure should have been taken place by now from the Dangote refinery to all stakeholders. We want Dangote refinery to be successful, but we want to succeed with him. We want to succeed with the company. Every segment of the industry should be successful, whether it is the NATO that is responsible for the road transport owners, or it is PTD of NUPENG that's in charge of the drivers, or it is NOGASA that is ensuring that our industries are properly, oiled with diesel and other heavy fuel that is required to ensure that our industries are working, or Petron, who is the last mile, the last critical mile in the industry that is ensuring, that every day you come out to the retail outlets, you have quality product at affordable price. So this note of concern yielded the government's intervention sometime on July the 30th. And we expected that after that intervention, the Federal Competitive Consumer Protection Council will convoke another critical meeting of all players, including Dangote Refinery, so that we will all have a clearly defined role in what the concerns have been and what we should be able to do to succeed. Nigerians may want to clap for a short-term benefit of, the company rolling out 4,000 trucks to products. So 4,000 trucks will go to 4,000 stations. And how long will that take place? So we need to ask ourselves the question that did we not see the same trucks loading our cement to the various cement kiosks across the country? Has it reduced the price? So we need to protect this industry so that our energy security will be guaranteed. And that is why Petron has directed that any NUPENG member that is working with all our retail outlets that joins in the strike, if the matter is not resolved tomorrow or today, will not be sacked, will not be terminated. And therefore, we give tacit support to the industry leaders and stakeholders and Dangote and the federal government that we should meet and quickly resolve this matter. This matter is not a difficult decision. It takes probably less than 2 hours for us to resolve. And we are very happy that Petron has called for the federal government's intervention, and we have seen very positive responses from the federal government, which I believe ultimately will resolve this issue. But if the resolutions don't come because of the lack of cooperation from any one player, whether major or minor or medium, then we are all cutting a very hard time for Nigerians, and which we do not want. We want Nigeria to be rolling smoothly. We want the Tinubu-led government to be successful in leading our country, and we are ready to give him the government the best support. However, matters that need urgent attention should be done, and this one is one that needs attention, regardless of there is vacation or out of country. There is work to be done, and from wherever in the world that instruction should be given, we should have that resolution today, being Monday. Other than that, by Tuesday, once the strike by NUPENG sets in, if it does, if the government's attention and intervention is not bringing, Petron will have no choice than to give instruction to our members to just go home, because without our pump station workers, we cannot be able to do any business. So there will be no need for any owner to go to their shops.
To control the president of NATO, John. Just few